Hey everyone, Namaste and welcome to the 23rd episode of Yoga Shakti with me Shailaja Menon here on ANAND TV. Today we're going to continue with another session on chair yoga. So before we go into the practice, let us just take a few minutes to just reflect on what comes to mind when you hear the word chair. So if you've been walking around and you spot a chair, it appears as something that we can take a seat on. Now, similarly, let us just reflect on what comes to mind when we hear the word asana. So it could be a form, it could be a shape, or it could be a deep stretch, all of which are right. But the definition of asana can also be a seat. In fact, there is a line that says, asyate iti asana, that which can be seated upon. So, what is it that takes a seat in an asana? It is that ever flowing, dynamic, ever changing, universal energy or Shakti that takes a seat in the grid of the asana. So, looking at asana not just as a shape and a form, but as a geometric pattern, an energy grid. And that is what we're trying to connect with whenever we go into our practice. So, as we enter our practice, as we go through asanas, let us use the opportunity to really try to sense this beautiful, dynamic, powerful energy that is our reality, that is the Shakti that flows as us and flows in us. Namaste. So let's begin the practice with some shoulder flexion work. Yeah, so this is a beautiful position to try to open the shoulders a little bit and come down onto your knees and move back a little bit. Yeah, so try to get this alignment of your hip and knees in one straight line, right? Place the palms onto the seat of the chair and just go back to a point where you can get the spine to be long without the hip collapsing back. Yeah, so try to get the hips and knees in line and just really working on as you exhale, just release the shoulders down. Yeah, so engage the abdominal muscles as well because otherwise we sink completely through the spine. Yeah, so since we're trying to work on the shoulders, engage your abdominal muscles and with every exhalation, try to release the shoulders down. Right? So count is a great way to move as you inhale, coming up, 2, 3, 4, exhale down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale up, 2, 3, 4, exhale down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale up, 2, 3, 4. Last round, just going down and stay. Focus on your breath, inhale and exhale, allowing the mind to sink into the flow of the breath. Slowly rising up and coming closer. Right, so going into a little bit of shoulder extension work, right, for which you just turn around and sit with your back facing the chair. Right, so from this position you can just see whether you can place your hands on the seat of the chair. Yeah, so this really allows you to get a deep release in the shoulders. Inhale and exhale, just trying to sit as tall as you can, keeping the chest open, keeping the heart open as you inhale and exhale. So just focus on your breath, Follow your breath. And slowly release your hands. Okay, now we're going to go into some hamstring work. So from the knees, see if you can take your right heel up onto the chair seat. Right, so I'm just keeping this block here just to help me with some balance. You can try to keep, if you have some chair or something by the side, you can try to use that to help you get your leg up. So just staying here, and this gives a beautiful release along the hamstrings, the back of the knees, the calves, all of that. Yeah, so you can initially keep the hand on the seat of the chair, right? And then use your breath. So as you inhale, lengthen through your spine. 2, 3, 4. And as you exhale, just going deeper. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, arch your spine. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last round. Inhale, arch your spine, looking up. 2, 3, 4. And as you exhale, folding deep, release the spine, release the shoulders, release your head, neck. Just focus on your breath as you inhale and exhale. And slowly rising up. And then because, many of you are in different levels of flexibility, if you want a deeper stretch, you can always release your hands either to a block, like if you have a block or a cushion, right? You can even lower the block, right? So depending on your level of flexibility, you can work to go a little bit deeper. And then if you are really flexible, you can even release the block and bring your hands to the floor, right? So many ways of doing the same asana with different levels of intensity depending on where your body is at this point in time, right? So remember, there is no competition, there is no comparison, right? There is no end point, which is the whole beauty of the asana. Like we spoke at the beginning of this episode, right? We're always trying to connect to ourselves. We're trying to connect to the body. We're trying to connect to the breath. We're trying to connect to our own unique energy. So just staying where you are and sensing all of this. Okay, and then slowly bringing the hands up. And if your knees will allow you to stay here for a few more seconds, you can work into a twist. You can just take your right hand back. So really opening. So initially, maybe because of, we're not unfamiliar with it, maybe only the arm will go back, but you can bring your arm to the hip and really try to get the shoulder back, the side chest, right? So that when you take your hand back, your arms are really in line with each other, shoulders in line, right? And then finally looking back. Okay, and then slowly bring the hand back and release the leg, right? So if you need some support for your knees, you can always roll up your mat, which I think I'm going to do now, or you can always begin with a towel below your knees. That also helps you to support your knees, right? And then to come up, you can just hold the seats of the chair and then bring the heel up, right? So whatever works for you. Just find your way of entering into the position, right? And then just check your alignment, right? So try to make sure your hip and knee are in one line, right? And then just staying here, feeling that deep release along the back of your left leg, the glutes, the hamstrings, the back of the knees, the calves, all of it getting a beautiful release. Just working with your breath. Just inhale, lengthening through your spine. As you exhale, folding deep. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, folding deep. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, folding deep. Just staying with the breath, sensing your body as a shape, as a form, as energy. Okay, and then slowly rising up, and then, like we spoke earlier, right, finding your depth. So maybe you want to bring your hands to blocks if you have blocks here, right? And then you feel like you can go even deeper. You can release your hands all the way to the floor, right? So just exploring your body, exploring the stretch, sensing it, enjoying it if you can. Okay, and then rising up again, placing your hand on the seat of the chair and working into the twist, right? So knowing that twist is not just about taking the arm back, but really the whole side of the body, from the shoulders to the side chest, right, to the side of your abdomen, all of it opens. You try to stack up your arms, your shoulders, all of it in line, right? So just beginning the practice. And slowly bringing the hand back and releasing the leg back to the floor, right? And slowly releasing back into child pose. So it's always nice to keep your arms slightly elevated as well. That continues to work on your shoulders, increasing shoulder flexion, resting here. So from hamstring stretch, now we're going to work on a deep inner thigh stretch. So just staying in front of your chair, but the position is different. Earlier you were facing the chair. Now you're staying with your side against the chair, right? And then you're just taking your right heel onto the chair and leaning towards the right. Yeah, so just allow your body to lean towards the right. That gives a really nice lateral stretch as well to the spine. And then place your hand, if you can, on the seat of the chair. Yeah, and then with your left hand, just really draw back through that left shoulder so that you get that beautiful opening on the side of the chest as well. Yeah, you can look up towards the ceiling. So feeling that deep release along the right inner thigh, feeling that lateral stretch to your spine, feeling that opening to your shoulders and chest. You can close your eyes, focus on your breath, sense the stretch, sense the shape of your body, sense your breath, and sense the energy reality of you. Now, if you want to go deeper into the position, right, again, if you have a block or you have some thick book or something, you can just place it there and release your hand. So the lower your hand goes, right, the deeper the stretch becomes, right? You can feel that deep release. And then you can draw those right toes towards you, so that gives a deeper stretch along the calves. And the only problem here is when you try to go deeper, you might compromise on the chest. Yeah, so you might find your shoulder coming forward and all of this happening just so that you can go deeper, right? So that kind of defeats the purpose. So only come as low as you can maintain this chest open, heart open, shoulder drawn back, this quality to your asana. Okay, and then slowly releasing and bring the hands forward, right? And you can just move into another position here, which is a hamstring stretch. Your chest folding over the chair. And from here, you can move into a beautiful twist where you draw back through the right shoulder and take your right arm back, looking back. And slowly release and step off from the chair. Yeah, so to go on to the left side, I'm just going to move my chair to the opposite side and begin the practice. Yeah, so we start with the lateral stretch here and the inner thigh stretch. So your left heel comes. So remember, I'm still facing the camera. Feel this deep stretch here along your left inner thigh. And as you go lower, you actually feel it deeper. Yeah. So as your body leans towards the left, you can feel the stretch increase along your inner thighs. Right. And if you can, release the arm on the chair seat. So if you notice, I'm going back so that I can get this hip and heel alignment. And if you draw the toes towards you, you again get a really deep stretch along the calves. Right? So you can place your hand on your hip, draw back through the chest, and just stay and just enjoy feeling the stretch, feeling the opening to your body, sensing the release of clogged energy, feeling the lightness in your body as energy moves more freely. And from here, just slowly folding over the leg. Yeah, so just turning. So this goes into a hamstring opening, so you can feel that deep stretch along the back of your left thigh. And from here, we're going to move into the twist. Yeah, so it's a really beautiful opening to the spine, right? Again, releases all the blocked energy that builds up in the spine. Draw back through your left shoulder, lift the arm up and stay. And slowly lower down and release the leg. So now let's move into a strength segment of this episode. So we're going to do a down dog and a plank. Yeah, so all of you are familiar with down dog and plank from the previous episodes that we were doing. So I'm not going to do that again. We will go directly to the chair. But we start with the plank, yeah, because plank is slightly easier to do. So the only difference is instead of keeping the feet on the floor, the feet go to the chair seat. Yeah, so place your hands on the floor and then try to lift your leg up and then see if you can just press the other leg up and moving into the plank. Yeah, so the same engagement remains. You consciously press the floor away with your palms, engage your upper back strongly, engaging the serratus, engaging your abdominal muscles, strongly contracting the hamstrings as well, your neck in line with your spine. Focus on your breath. Don't forget to push the floor away. Just stay here as long as you comfortably can. Okay, and then slowly lower down and coming down. Yeah, so this is considered slightly more challenging than plank on the floor. So to begin with, maybe you can just start with 10 seconds, and maybe you can just do 10 seconds 3 times each. Yeah, so we'll just do one more round here. So when you place your palms, make sure that your shoulders and your wrists are in line, yeah, so that you're not going back. So just sensing all of that, yeah, using the opportunity of the asana to connect deeper to your body, right? And then from here, just take one leg up and the other leg up and hold. And slowly lower down and release. Yeah, so I just held for 10 counts, and you can do that too. But I always say use a timer, right? All our phones now have timers as well, because that way we're not, using our own, mind to count, because suddenly we can count very fast or extremely slowly. So it's always better to use a timer. Right, so we go into down dog. So for down dog, we all remember the position, right, with the hips higher. So the hands will have to come back a bit. Yeah, so the difference in plank and down dog: for plank the hands were further away from the feet. For down dog the hands will be closer to the feet and the hips will go up. Yeah, so just placing your hands here and then just going up, right, making sure the hips stay up. Right, so this puts a lot more pressure on your shoulders. So pushing the floor away strongly, holding. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, slowly coming down. So how did that feel? Must have been more intense, right? Because the legs are at a height and there's a lot more loading that happens on the shoulders, on the wrists, all of that. Yeah, so we'll just do again, just one more round of 10 counts. See how you feel, and you can always tailor the practice to where you are at this point. You can always start with 5 counts as well. Yeah, so just going back, placing your hands down and legs up, hips up, and stay. Drop your head. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Slowly coming down. I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, another last strength practice that you can do is the forearm work. So just placing your forearms on the mat and taking your legs up into a plankish position. Yeah, so keep your hip low, hold your body well, elbows and shoulders in line. Again, the same principles as plank apply: upper body engaged, abdomen engaged, neck in line with your spine, back thighs engaged. Okay, and then slowly lower down. So we can do this one more time, right? So we can do a count of 10. Again, if 10 is too much, you can start with 5, right? So just bring your forearms down, take your leg up and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so slowly coming down. And with this, we come to the end of this episode. I really hope that you have enjoyed all these different ways of doing asanas through the medium of the chair, right? So I'm sure that your whole perspective of the chair has shifted. And when you see a chair, it's not just going to be something that you sit on, but you can actually use it in so many different ways to deepen your stretch, to strengthen your body, to find balance, right? All of which goes into the asana practice. So connect to your body, connect to the form, the shape, the stretch, all of it, but also connect to your deeper underlying reality, which is your energy reality of Shakti, your inner essence. Namaste.